What's going on, my exotic family? It's your boy Trey. Welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be an interesting one. I learned something new about one of my snakes this week, and more than likely snakes in general, but I'm talking about a particular snake in this video, and I'm going to bring you guys along this educational journey with me. And to me, it's something interesting. I hope you guys find it just as interesting, so stick around and see what it's all about. All right, everybody, so welcome back to the video. I am here with Kato, my blood python, and let me tell you guys before we even jump into it, it's going to be somewhat of a long video. The story behind it, and we're going to go through the whole thing, but Kato is the man of this video. He scared the hell out of me last week, so come over, check on my snakes, come down in the basement, check on everybody. I usually pull everyone out. Just kind of do a wellness check on them. Touch them, feel them, make sure everything is feeling good and everything like that, just to, make sure I'm in tune with my animals. I go to pull Kato out, and I noticed Kato has somewhat of a bulge in his throat area, but I didn't pay it any mind. So I pick him up. He's got his face like on my arm, and I'm just sifting through his substrate I got gloves on, and I'm pulling out poop and everything, and I just feel my arm get like soaking wet, and I'm looking at his mouth, and it's got a bunch of liquid just like dripping out of it, coming out of it, and I'm just like, yo, what the hell? So instantly stop what I'm doing. I'm looking at Kato, and he's literally just got like water oozing out of his mouth, saliva just oozing out of his mouth. So of course I'm scared because Kato's my first snake in this collection, so I don't want anything to happen to him. He's still very young. He's only 4 years old, and he's still got actually quite a bit of growing to do. So I'm instantly like, yo, like what the hell, this can't be, he can't have respiratory, because that's exactly what I'm thinking at this point. So I'm looking up, a bunch of different things on respiratory. I've dealt with respiratory before. Immediately I made him a vet appointment. But in the meantime, they couldn't get me until the end of the week. In the meantime, I wanted to look up a bunch of different things just to see if there was something I'm missing, because like I've dealt with respiratory in 3 of my snakes, and something just seemed off this time. So I reached out to Elijah Armas from Juggernaut Reptiles. I'm actually on Instagram and wherever else you see me. On TikTok, I'm actually holding the blood python that I'm holding, the albino T negative, is actually his, from Juggernaut Reptiles. So I reached out to him and asked, has he ever had the issue of, a snake? Oh, okay, so let me back up. I'm jumping way ahead of myself. So I actually read online that sometimes snakes will drink a lot of water, and if you hold them immediately after, they will spit the water back up. Now, you guys know I'm no expert, never claimed to be an expert. I've never ever held my snakes immediately after drinking water, so that's not something I experienced. That's not something that I knew. I'm going to be completely honest about it. I did not know that. I've soaked my snakes. They're fully submerged in water. They're in water, and they'll, drink a little water here and there, and I'll pick them back up and put them in their enclosure. But I've never ever seen or heard to where they would spit it back up. So like I said, this is a learning experience for me, and I wanted to share it with you guys, because some of you may already know this, some of you may not, but putting it out there anyway. So I actually before I reached out to Elijah, I reached out to Jeremy Turgeon. He originally worked at Nerd. Cool guy, Brassman Reptiles on Instagram. If you're not following him, go give him a shout out. Go check him out. Cool dude. He immediately told me to call him. I call him, explain to him the situation, and he's like, nah. He said it could be respiratory, and you're right to feel that way, but it sounds like he drank a lot of water and you picked him up right after. Now, you guys know my reptiles are at a different location than where I live at the moment. So when I came down here, he was under his hide. So I did not know that he had just drunk the water. Now, again, going back to a point that I made previously, he had a bulge in his throat, but I didn't think anything of it. Because I've seen him get a little huffy with me sometimes, but this bulge was pretty big. But I didn't think about what it was. I was just trying to get him out and get his enclosure together. So he's like, yeah, man, I've never actually seen it, but it's not uncommon that I've seen it in snakes, and everything that I read said that this happens with mostly boas. So it calmed me down a little bit. I'm still freaking out, and me and him talked for a minute. Cool dude. And then I reached out to Elijah Armis from Juggernaut Reptiles. Real cool dude. Check him out on Instagram as well. Like I said, the blood pipe that I'm holding in my profile picture on Instagram actually belongs to him at Juggernaut Reptiles, and he actually confirmed that he's actually seen this happen, and it's pretty common actually. So that made me feel better, but still, being the good keeper that I am, just to confirm, because like I said, I read it online, and I'm always saying, do your research, do your research, do your research. I looked it up online. However, I still wanted to talk to two sources that have more experience with these guys than I do. And on top of all that, I still kept his vet appointment. I did take him to the vet, and the good news is respiratory came out negative. My guy is in good health. He's got a clean bill of health. So yeah, that was what I dealt with last week. It was definitely scary. I did come and check on him like in the middle of the week, and he was doing better, but I still wanted just to 100% make sure that he was okay, because like I said, I've never seen that before. It scared the hell out of me, and this is my first snake. I'm like, yo, I don't want to deal with this, right? I don't want to deal with it with any of my snakes. So yeah, I learned something new about snakes. Snakes actually, if you hold them immediately after, they can spit up their water. And what's crazy is, part of me thought it was respiratory, but the reason why it felt different is simply because some of the symptoms of respiratory weren't there. Like when I got Luther had severe respiratory. He was blowing bubbles out of his nose. He was wheezing, sneezing. He literally was just drooling water. But I didn't realize it was water. I thought it was just saliva, so I'm freaking out. I made him the vet appointment, and we went from there. So happy to report Kato is in good health. He's doing good, everybody. So don't be alarmed like I was. I'm just happy that it was nothing bad and we didn't have to go that route, because I don't know. I don't know. It's just scary to think about. I really try to, do everything I can to make sure my animals stay healthy. And yeah, so I wanted to tell you guys about that. Make my learning experience for you. Like I said, if you may not know. So, regardless though, if you suspect something may be wrong with your snake, whether they're showing symptoms or not, I would still take them to the vet just to get a 100% for sure, expert opinion and diagnosis on what you may be experiencing. Like I did with Kato, like I said, he does not have respiratory, didn't have anything. It was just the water. So I'm happy to report that. And again, shout out to Elijah Armis from Juggernaut Reptiles and Jeremy Turgeon from Brassman Reptiles. I appreciate both of you tremendously for Jeremy actually giving me your number and telling me to call you, and Juggernaut and Elijah getting back to me pretty quick. I appreciate both of you for that. So glad to report my guy here is doing okay and we are in good health. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of the video. If you guys ever had any, false reptile scares with your reptiles. If so, what are they? Follow me on Instagram at DW Exotics. Hit that like button if you like this video. Hit that subscribe button if you love this video. And as always, stay exotic.